Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
Greetings to the family, greetings to the family, greetings to the family. It's your brother King Simon in the building. Oh, yes. We got a special show for you tonight. And our brother will be coming up in the next 5 minutes right here on King Simon Presents. Your brother is in the building. He's in the backstage chilling. I'm waiting for my co-host to come up. But tonight we got surviving the pot plot and more. So we're going to get into more after we talk about the pot plot. Yes. Just want to remind everybody that this coming Sunday, we got the legend himself, Ra-Aku, Cosmophysics, astrologically speaking. He teaches on astrology. And he mixes and blends the mathematics and show you how it works. So in the month of April, of course, we got Ra-Aku coming in. Then we got Cheryl St. Cloud, the martial artist extraordinaire, showing you why sisters should get in and do what they got to do to protect themselves. Just like the Vanguard in the Nation of Islam and the FOI, we got to protect ourselves back in the day, and we're still doing it today. Also, don't forget on the 15th, we have the one, the only Dr. Farah Gray, Khalid Abdul Muhammad's son. Dr. Khalid Muhammad's son is going to be here on the 15th. And don't forget, on April the 18th, we got Erica Davey. Not only is she an activist from out of Liberia, but she's an activist of child support and as far as helping our people and helping the family. So big up to Erica, who's going to be coming in. And Jackie Levine, astronumerologist and novelist, will be coming in, featuring also Lloyd Strayhorn will be in the building because that's his student. And Soul Flow doula. Why it's important to have doulas in your life or midwives in your life. So we're going to be having Soul Flow doula on the 28th. Oh yeah, it's going to be off the hook. Want to thank some of the new sponsors that's in the building. Big up some of the new sponsors, of course. Etsy.com. Make sure you better health shop. Make sure you get that health shop. They got monotonic gold. They got colloidal silver and all that. So all you have to do is go to Etsy.com/shop better health shop. So make sure you check that out. They're in the building. Their new sponsorship in the building. And of course, make sure you go to LloydStrayhorn.com. That's Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. World-renowned astronumerologist. He's been on Oprah. He's been on Katie Couric. Believe me, he knows what he's doing when he deals with those applied mathematics. So enough respect to Lloyd Strayhorn all the time. Don't forget my classes are coming up. Numerovation for mental stability as I blend numerology, the applied mathematics with the motivational principles of people that I've trained with like Les Brown, Eric Thomas, and various other people. So I just put that blend in. So I do the holistic numerovation. And don't forget, ladies, I'm telling you, ladies, protect that VJJ family. Protect the VJJ. Protect your womb from fibroids and all this. This sister can help you. It's called pedalwise.com. Pedalwise.com not only deals with breast tumors, fibroids, and various other things, but she also consults and do different classes for women. Pedalwise.com and get your 10% off coupon code by going to King 2021. That is my coupon code, and you will get a 10% off discount. So enough respect to her and what she's doing. And as usual, we got content disclaimer. Stop playing. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised, of course. And if you want to do a numerovation consultation with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And if you live outside of the United States, I've been getting a lot of calls from out of Canada and Africa and all that. Please use WhatsApp. Use WhatsApp. If you want real estate, this sister can help you. Janelle Lewis, real estate extraordinaire. She's in the building. Make sure you text if you want some consultation about getting real estate, commercial property, all of that. 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. And these are all 4 of my books. No promotion is bad promotion. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. Numbers are simple. Our children's health is important. And the newest one is called Numerovation for Mental Stability, because we're going through some mental stuff. And if you want to catch all of this, make sure you go to my link tree. That's linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator. And last but not least, we got to big up our sister's products. My partner in Vibe right here, 1 Million Adornment. She makes some great earrings for sisters, handmade earrings, and she helps you out. And you can link her through DM her at 1million_adornments, or you can actually email her. And this is her email right here, Empress Aisha Amor at Gmail, and spread love via Cash App at Empress Amor. So without any further ado, let me bring on my partner in Vibe. Let me bring myself in the picture first and bring my partner in Vibe. She's in the building. Of course, your brother is in the mother flipping building, family. You know the deal. Let me give myself a round of applause because I pay these people to applaud me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. I still got that spirit. You know what I'm saying? I still got that energy. But where's my sister? My sister, I can't miss you, Empress Aisha. Boy, what's up? Let me give you a round of applause, girl. Where you at? Where you at? There you go. How you doing?
Doing good. You're great.
I say. Good to see you. Good to see you. How's the family? How's everything going?
Everything is great. Everything is great. Just
that's good. I'm glad. Do you give those great children a great big hug for me when you got to give them that group hug? It's so important.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't do it? All right, it's all right. No problem.
I'll do it.
That's all right. Now, are you ready for our guest? Because he's backstage, and one thing about the FOY, we like to be on time and ready to kick it on and keep it going. That's what we do from back in the day. We follow the general orders. That's what we do. So, without any further ado, this brother has been monumental in not only in the debate scene. He's already battled ready. I've seen him. I brought him on stage one time when Sinetta brought him up to do Ray Hagins and bring on to go against Ray Hagins. I brought him and I've seen him work on people like Natural Tahuti, who happens to be in prison right now, incarcerated. But I've seen him work on the stage, and and I've seen some great ones work. I've seen Dr. Khalid work. I've seen a lot of people work, and I like to say this brother is definitely doing the darn thing. Not only is he a researcher, he's an author, he's a father. He's a brother. He's a minister. We want to welcome the one, the only, my brother, your brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad in the building. Let's bring him in. 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 How you doing, beloved?
Thank you for the paid applause. I appreciate it. I should feel valued.
Hey, I pay for this stuff. Doc, how you been, brother? My brother.
Man, I've been excellent, especially given Brother King Simon and Sister Empress Aisha, given everything that's going on in the world and all of the suffering that our people are doing. I have to thank Allah, man, that I am well and my family is well. I pray that is the same for you two and your families.
Yes. I mean, I lost an elder, but I lost an elder who was in a home. She was 91, but she was from my father's side, my auntie, and she's Cuban Jamaican. But what I remember about her is that she always invited me to either Cuba and Jamaica anytime her and her 12 children was going. She had 12 children from her husband, and his husband passed on, my Uncle Roy, but she died in one of those homes because they contracted COVID. But she was 91, so and plus she had preconditions. She had preconditions and stuff of diabetes and all that stuff. So, but rest in peace, Aunt Nena, all the time. That's a beautiful sister. Yeah, she's an ancestor, so I honor my ancestors. So enough respect. That's how it is.
Empress Aisha, all is well.
All is well.
All is well. With thanks, yes, all is well. Family has been doing well. Alhamdulillah. So.
Before we move on, I want to make sure this business is right. Of course, is that your website? www.drwesleyonline.online? That is it. And of course, the email to get in contact you, Dr. Wesley Muhammad at Gmail. And of course, you're on IG and Facebook at Wesley Muhammad, correct?
That is correct. And I invite your wonderful audience to please subscribe to our webpage, drwesley.online.
That's right. And it leads to his YouTube page also. It leads to the YouTube page, which is Wesley Muhammad, Dr. Wesley Muhammad on YouTube, where he got a lot of pertinent information. I just watched the barbershop one. That was interesting.
Barbershop. I just got my hair cut today, and that conversation wasn't much different than that conversation.
Exactly.
Barbershop. What do you expect at the barbershop? That's why the barbershop is such an important institution,
yes, sir,
in our community, because that's where it gets live.
That's where it gets live, brother, and the beauty salon. Don't forget the beauty salon too.
Well, I assume I don't have any experience, but I'm down in the beauty salon.
Man, I'll be hearing it from sisters, bro. Believe me, bro. But first and foremost, thank you very much, and thank all the brothers and sisters out there that are watching that are going to share this. Please share, and like, thumb this up, because we got some pertinent information that we will talk about. Like I said, this is what we call surviving the pot plot, and more. Now, I ordered the book, but it hasn't gotten here yet. It's all right, because I waited till I got back into New York to order the book, and it was like last minute. So I know things can happen in the mail. It was sent out. I did get a notification that it was sent out, so it might come in the next couple of days. But I understand this.
We'll make sure that we pull your order up. I have my people look at it and make sure everything's right and exact.
No, the all team is good. I already got the notification that it is coming, so I see that it's working. So, I mean, I've got another book.
The book is real, all 800 pages, and 2,000 footnotes. It's real.
Oh, yeah, and I want to start off because Dr. Wesley, you've been battle tested over the years, and especially in the quote unquote conscious community, and amongst other quote unquote scholars in the conscious community and around the world, because I know you've handled yourself in your own school and different places. And this pot plot, brother, whoo, man, I know I come from a family, Jamaican family, Afro-Jamaican, Asiatic Jamaican, Cuban, and that we used to import marijuana here. and when I was younger, so and my family used to bring that. But what is the difference between the pot that at least Jamaica has been growing all these years and what's going on out here in America that they're legalizing so fast?
Well, to be candid with you, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
There is not the end result is there's not much different.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In Jamaica, it's called ganja. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you know where the language ganja comes from?
That I did not know. I don't know. No.
It's a Sanskrit word. It's Indo-European, Sanskrit in particular.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Jamaican marijuana carries an Indian subcontinent terminology is because the marijuana industry or phenomenon culture is a better word. The marijuana culture in the islands originated when the British imported Indian indentured servants to replace and work alongside Black slaves there in the islands, weed the Indian seeds in their marijuana, which used to pacify the servants and to better their slave service in the fields. So because it just so happens that the Indian servants that were imported, they came with their cannabis seeds, and the British determined that smoking marijuana aided their interest with the slaves and indentured servants. That's the origin of the marijuana phenomenon there in Jamaica. Now, let me say this.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
We're talking about the pot plot. The pot plot actually began before it got here in the States.
But
early example of the pot plot. Go ahead.
Well, hold on one second. I just want, because you're saying the Indians and in Jamaica, but remember the Arawaks and the Caribs was there in Jamaica. That's their history. Yeah. So was they was already there prior to that. So was that them that was the one that imported, because they called them the Indians, West Indies, when they came over there. Is that who you're talking about?
No, we're not talking. No, we're talking about imported from India, the subcontinent of India.
Okay, the Indians. Okay,
not the native so-called Indians.
Right. Okay, good. Okay,
that's what the American so-called Indians here. No, imported from India.
Okay.
Indentured servants were imported from India.
Okay.
To work for the British alongside Blacks and natives.
Yes,
when the Indians, subcontinental Indians, were imported, they happened to have their seeds. This is why the Jamaican strains have the Indian context to them, and it's why the Jamaican marijuana carries the same Sanskrit terminology, the Indian, subcontinent of Indian terminology. So, and the other point.
Yes, go ahead.
The difference between cannabis as God's holy herb and marijuana. And this difference, it applies in Jamaica. It applies in California. It applies in Africa. There's a profound difference between what God planted for human and divine use, and the cannabis plant was created by God for the gods. There's no dispute about that. But the genotype and the phenotype of that plant that God planted and gifted to the world for health purposes, it is magical when used in the right way.
Yes, that's true.
But the signature of God's cannabis is low THC, appropriately balanced with the right amount of CBD in particular. So the CBD controls the negative possibilities of THC. THC is a wild germ. It has good and it has bad, but it has to be controlled. The bad of it has to be controlled, and that's one of the most important values of CBD. So God, because he's such a mathematician, God's holy herb has the right amount of THC to CBD, the right ratio. Now, none of the marijuana, I don't care if you smoking on a blunt that originated in Jamaica, if you smoking on loud that originated in Chicago or Kush in California or Houston, I don't care where you're smoking your blunt at. If you are smoking it and you're getting high from it, you're not smoking God's holy herb. You're smoking a herb. You're smoking something that has high THC, probably anywhere from 10 to 20% THC, while God's plant, cannabis, had a THC ratio less than 1%. In all of these strains of marijuana, the CBD has been grafted out to minimal to non-existent amounts. The THC has been elevated because that's necessary to get the buzz today. And so we are taught, as you know, Brother King Simon.
Yes, sir.
In our lessons.
Yes, sir.
What is a devil? Anything grafted from original, live germ grafted from original. So any marijuana application or product that has an artificially exaggerated level of THC and diminished level of CBD, that's devil. By definition. So the difference, and God didn't do that. So God's cannabis plant is divine and was a gift from God to the gods.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that ain't what we getting high off of.
That's not what I understand. And you know what's so funny? Dr. Africa, may he rest in peace, used to say, anything you light fire to becomes another chemical. Anything
everybody understands that, except we get dumb to it when we're talking about marijuana. I gotta say this. I love, respect, and honor Dr. Sebi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I don't understand putting up with the pill. Shout out to red pill and blue pill. But look, man, I don't understand with all of his knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of health and natural plants. He's a big advocate, not just of the cannabis plant, but of smoking marijuana.
And I know that because I put him in.
Putting fire to that plant.
I know that.
That combusted plant matter.
But Wesley, to his credit, he always said that healers need healing, and he needed healing. But that was one of his things, and he always said it.
So we can't, and I can appreciate that.
That was his thing.
So, but what I can accept is
right.
Raising my dear brother, may Allah be pleased him.
Yes, sir.
As a reason to justify smoking weed, because like I said, he did it. And he's a health guru.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. That's why I tell people that, Dr. Africa and Dr. Sebi are two different people. Dr. Africa stopped smoking weed once he understood it. When he got into the knowledge, he understood he didn't need to do it. Sebi grew up on that. So Sebi, that was his recreational thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the weed.
And I don't moralize on my brother.
Right.
I had a milkshake the other day, and I know y'all mad at me because it wasn't vegan. I don't care about that.
Yo, let me tell you.
But I'm not going to tell you go get you a milkshake. That's my Achilles heel. I judge restaurants based on whether they got milkshakes. I need an ice cream drink. Right. Don't make mine vegan.
Exactly. I understand.
but the point is, I'm not going to lift it up. I'm not moralizing on Dr. Sebi. I'm just saying when we're discussing the plot,
right,
and the weaponization of marijuana, you cannot raise our brother in the fact that he indulged as a argument against what we're saying.
But Dr. Wesley, Dr. Sebi never promoted at his lectures. He would say, "I'm a man that smoke my weed." That's it. Like most people but that's what
his son did on.
And that I wanted to talk to you about that because I mentioned something in your chat that to me wasn't a fair fight. I tell you the truth, but he stepped up to the arena. I'm not talking about his little one. I'm talking about Azami. On the Breakfast Club. Okay, but I know many other sons, but that one that you dealt with, the young one, that to me wasn't fair to me, and I put it in your chat. He didn't even verbally was able to do it because that translated.
Understand how that came about. I didn't know brother the night before.
Oh, okay.
I did not know, but that wasn't my operation.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
that was his operation.
Oh, that was. I didn't know that.
Brother was at some event here in Chicago. I never heard of him. I get a call. One of our dear sister Janita happened to be at the event that he was at. I'm not knowing nothing.
Right.
She's talking to him after. She happens to ask him, because she's telling him about the show. She's asking him, well, do you know Dr. Wesley Muhammad? And he goes ham, right? He hits my name and he starts going in. And he wants to challenge me and this and that. And I'm at the home with my family. I'm not knowing what drama is transpiring with my name in it.
Right.
And then next thing I know, he put up a post saying that he's going to have a sit down with me. This was done before I even approved it. So, but once it was done, okay, well, if he wants to, I'll sit down with him. I respect Dr. Sebi. I didn't know him from the others. I didn't know his age. I didn't know brother.
Right.
That conversation was brought to me.
Right.
And I obliged it, but don't accuse me of being a bully. And I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Some of y'all always do that. Of course, not you.
No, yeah. That's what I'd like to. Yes, sir. I was just going to make sure.
But I remember, this is what I'm saying a lot of y'all like to do.
Right.
You mentioned the Dr. Ray Hagins debate.
I remember. Yes, sir.
What I remember so well, King Simon, is before that debate.
Yes, sir.
On the heels of the Natural Tahuti
yes, sir.
fiasco,
yes,
from y'all perspective, y'all thought y'all selected Natural Tahuti to body me.
That's what they did. That's what they did. Yes.
And then he got bodied. And then y'all selected Dr. Ray Hagins to be your redeemer.
Sonetta. Yes, Sonetta did.
All of because I got all of the trailers that were put out there. I keep them.
Well, I know, but you ain't ever seen me in it. So
all of the trailers, no. Let me say not y'all.
Yes, please.
They were.
That's right.
They selected Dr. Ray Hagins to deliver redemption to them. And there was all of this talk of, well, Natural Tahuti, he wasn't this, he wasn't that, but Dr. Ray Hagins, he's the man, he's going to. And then when that went left to when Dr. Ray Hagins, their redeemer,
yes, sir,
got up on stage, heard my presentation, and conceded defeat on stage.
On stage.
That never happens in a debate.
That's true.
But he said on stage, I have nothing to challenge this brother with. Wow. And then all of a sudden, I'm bullying Dr. Ray Hagins. I'm in a ring with somebody who ain't qualified. So whenever I step in the ring,
right,
the people that either choose themselves or y'all choose for me,
right,
and it doesn't happen the way you want it to happen, right. I'm called a bully.
Right, right. I mean, you know,
Rabbi.
Yeah.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Rabbi Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
Because the battle of wits. The mongoose snake, to use my teacher, the Honorable Mr. Lord Fardown description, that battle, even though this was an Israeli certified rabbi.
Yes.
Who was being fed from that line connected to his ear, being fed from scholars around him. Yet, he could not defeat the mind of a student of the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. And so some people were saying, well, it was a waste. Dr. Wesley should not have wasted his time. Right. Well, if I win in the ring, then it's a waste of time. It's as if it's only worth the ticket.
Right. Right.
If I lose.
That's right. Yeah. They say
if I lose. But if I win, if Allah blesses me with victory in the engagement, then it's Dr. Wesley bullying people. So no, dear brother, I didn't know him. I didn't come at him.
Right.
That conversation was brought to me. And before I could be contacted to say yay or nay, he went running on his page and posted that he's going to teach Dr. Wesley and defend his father. That's out there now.
Yeah.
Well, I obliged them. So no, don't get mad at me. You call that brother and say,
Matter of fact, I did reach out
to the community.
I did reach out to him and said, brother, that you should have waited and been patient and let people that can English-wise be qualified, because even the translator wasn't even doing it right, doing him any justice. So, but let's get away from that. And one more thing about that debate. I remember when you was debating Tahuti and Sarah Suit and Seti was there, and you had to deal with him and say, yo, you were supposed to be up on stage doing this for me.
So Allah has blessed us.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
you know, because I came up in the Kufi smacking era.
Yes, sir. True Islam.
Where especially in New York was the capital of Kufi smacking.
That's right.
All of the woke folk, they cut their teeth by smacking Kufis off Muslims' head, right? Getting at the Muslims. And I came up, I was motivated by that. I was inspired by that. So whoever was the king Kufi smacker, that's who I wanted. So remember, the genesis of my engagement on the New York scene was when I saw that brother Sebi debate brother
Halim. We were sitting. I was sitting behind you. Oh, you were sitting behind me. I know we were sitting together.
Because before that, remember.
Yes, sir.
Sinetta was reaching out to me to have a conversation with Alim, and I happened to be in New York, so I came and saw the Seti Alim piece. I saw that. I went to Sinetta. I said, "Nah, I don't want Alim. I want Seti." I went to Sinetta would tell you. I know. Scratch that Dr. Wesley and Dr. Alim. I want Seti.
Yep. That's right.
Seti went on the radio that night doing his victory laps and said, you know, this Dr. Wesley, he coming to my joint photo op and taking photos at my joint, and he said he want to debate me. I ain't debating him. He said on the radio.
Yeah.
I wanted the major Kufi smackers. So I wasn't going for the lowest hanging fruit.
Right. You
going and then I let y'all, not y'all, but they Patrick Taoudi. Dr. Hagins.
I know. Empress Aisha, got any questions, please? Before one more question be about let's get back into the pot plot because we can go. That's why there's more. It's pot plot and more. I got it. We got the more going on. I like the mores. Now, Empress Aisha, you got any questions for our dear beloved Dr. Wesley Muhammad, please? Go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. What got you so into this battle with the brothers who come after Islam the way they do? Like what motive, like what triggered you to be on the front line like that?
That's a great question.
Yes.
And it's a very personal reason. You know why I battled so hard and battled so hard against the Kufi smackers? Because 2 years after, no, a year after, those towers went down in New York. And the country was swamped with so-called Islamophobia. Allah blessed me to have a son.
Yes.
And I named my son Islam. I had always said that when Allah blesses me to have a son, I'm naming him Islam. So I happened to have my son after the towers went down and the country is filled with Islamophobia and hate for Islam. But I said, I'm going to name my son what I always wanted to, Islam. I knew he was going to come up in a country now that was ferociously anti-Islam. But I said that I'm going to make sure, this is what I said, this is my motivation. I said, I don't ever want my son to feel compelled to hide his name, Islam. His name is Islam Yasira Muhammad. I love each name. I picked Yasir.
That's right.
But I didn't want him to feel compelled to use Yasir over Islam because of the hate that he feels that Islam is receiving. So he's black. He live in a black community. So the hate for Islam that gripped the black community, emanating from the so-called Afrocentric cipher out of New York.
Yeah.
When I saw them Kufi smackers, Empress Aisha, I saw my son.
That's right.
I said, if y'all have it your way, y'all are going to so villainize and demonize Islam, because that's what they were doing.
Right.
So demonizing Islam among black people that my son will not want to carry his name. And so that's what motivates me to fight against the so-called Kufi smackers.
No,
is the black man's natural religion. I don't care what they say on 125th.
You know what's so funny? I remember my cousin coming to me years ago when I received my Muhammad over 20 years ago, right? And he said, one day that name is going to be the boogeyman for America. My own cousin told me this. You have to be very careful carrying that name. Just like you remember, Jews used to change their name when they would
anglicize their names, right?
Exactly. So you had to be very careful, because I was entering, in the nation, coming and doing what we're doing, and he was right. It got a little dangerous at times because we was rolling with Minister and Dr. Khalid, so it got dangerous at certain times where we had to protect ourselves and doing security with X-Men security with Anthony Muhammad or Aziz, brother Aziz, GM Aziz now, and we was doing security
to our assistant supreme captain.
Yes, our brother, man. He was our trainer here in New York, so that was our family there. So I understand where you're coming from, brother, where you're saying with your protection of your son, and that was a good question, Empress Aisha, really, because that tore into my soul when my cousin said it to me when he just came out of Islam himself, but he was studying the atmosphere of what's going on before the towers fell and all of that. He was just studying the atmosphere. Japan was America's boogeyman. Germany was America's boogeyman. He said Islam was going to be America's boogeyman. He told me that over 25 years, 30 years ago. And I had just received my Muhammad at that time. So, but brother, moving forward, back into the pot plot. I want to go back into the pot plot because I know inside what I've been watching when you break that down is how it affects male masculinity and female's femininity. Can you go into that a little bit? Because I know the book is on its way, but I want to make sure you break it down and touch it so people will want the book, No,
it's very important. God's cannabis is a great healer, but weaponized weed is a gender neutral. It feminizes males, in particular black males, and there's a reason I emphasize black versus, for example, white. We'll get into that. It feminizes black males and it masculinizes black females. We have to keep both sides of this coin front and center. And the reason, quite simply, is because that the excessive, not only is the THC levels excessive in this weaponized weed, but it's not THC. It's synthetic THC. It's Roger Adams THC that was initially constructed in the 30s, and as his synthetic THC molecule is the basis of the THC that is made available by the government and all cannabis ingredients that are legally obtained, whether they're seeds that you plant yourself, all legally obtained cannabis ingredients come through the lab in Ole Miss, the M Project, Lab Marijuana Project lab in Ole Miss, and the THC that's provided is synthetic THC. It's artificial.
Mm-hmm.
And the excessive levels, what it does, it disrupts the process, the secretion of what's called gonadotropin releasing hormones, a hormone released in the brain that begins the process that results in males in the production of testosterone and in females in the production of estrogen. When THC interrupts that process in men, it diminishes testosterone. But what's important is that in women, it stimulates testosterone from the adrenal gland. So male weed smoking increases or decreases testosterone, and female weed smoking increases testosterone. And so let me give you a visual of the effect. So you see it. What we're saying isn't just theoretical. Two examples of the physiological feminization. Long-time weed smokers, if you ask them to remove their shirt and they complied, you will see with a lot of long-time weed smokers the condition of gynecologist, of male breasts. A lot of chronic, long-term weed smokers have man breasts, man boobs.
Yes.
Gynecologist is a effect to remove that of long-term marijuana intake, which, and of course, male breasts is a physiological feminization. Second, did you notice, Sister Empress, Aisha? I don't know what generation you're from. I'm Gen X. But I wonder if you noticed the current generation, starting with the millennials and the Gen Z, the males, their frame is very small. The Wiz Khalifa type frame, the Snoop Dogg frame. We're really hard pressed to find robust physiology among this generation. You don't see a lot of 50 Cents, right? There are way more Wiz Khalifas, physiological Wiz Khalifas, than physiological 50 Cents. Now, have in your mind's eye 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa. Don't care what you think of their music. Physically, have in your mind's eye 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa. 50 Cent has a robust masculine physiology, a thickness to him, which is characteristic, whether not that all of Gen X was cut like 50, right? But the robustness of his physiology is characteristic of Gen Xers in particular. Whereas Wiz, like Snoop, like Young Dolph, they're very thin, very fragile of frame. You know why? There's a reason Young Dolph, Wiz Khalifa, and Snoop Dogg, they all have the same and similar frame, because the thing that distinguishes millennials and especially Gen Zers from Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Zers started smoking weed a lot earlier than Gen Xers did. And when a teenager or an adolescent smokes this marijuana, the THC obstructs the development of what they call secondary sexual features. The secondary sexual features in the female secondary sexual features is the waist to hip ratio, the curviness, right? The breasts, and all of that is determined by biochemistry. When a female's biochemistry kicks in hormonally, then her physiological feminine features develop. With a male secondary sex features develop post-puberty, and the broadness of the shoulders, for example, is a male secondary sexual characteristic. The deepness of the voice, all of these are determined by our hormonal cascade. When you start smoking, when males and females, well, we're talking about 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa, when adolescents smoke weed and intake this synthetic, exaggerated THC, it arrests the development of secondary sexual features. And so the natural male robustness of physique is halted. And a feminine physique, the fragility that's characteristic of a feminine physique, develops in men. The robustness that's characteristic of a male physique does not appear. Right. And so all of these young weed smokers, they're hella thin. They're hella fragile of frame. Now, 50 Cent made, and this goes to the nexus between the pot plot and the weaponization of hip hop. Because while both 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa rap about smoking weed, 50 Cent don't smoke weed. That's right. Well, why you make songs about it? He said, I saw dudes was moving units rapping about smoking weed. So I rapped about smoking weed and I move units. When people smoke weed, 50 Cent don't smoke weed, though they both rap about it, but you see the difference in their physiology.
Exactly.
Even if the fragility of frame is technically described as a physiological feminization, because the natural course of the male physiology didn't develop such that the normal physiological signatures of a male body did not develop. And there's so many, and again, the millennials and Gen Z, the records, the data shows, began smoking weed at much younger age than Gen X.
And now we got our brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad in the building. We're talking about the pot plot. This is the book right here, family. This is the book you need to order right here on the screen. The pot plot, and of course he's gonna show it. Of course, you can show it if you want.
Because I want what I'm gonna show, because this is deceptive. What you need to see is
exactly
800 pages.
Yes, it is.
And 2,000 footnotes. Why do I emphasize that, brother? Because, man, we do a lot of talking. I understand. You want, not you, those who want to argue the point, and you've been arguing with me. No, you haven't. You've been arguing at me from the beginning, and that's okay. You want to say, where's your sources? Then I give you sources.
Mm-hmm.
I put a bibliography together, just a bibliography.
Yep.
Did it, put it on all of my social media, and pleaded with you, vet it.
Mm-hmm.
No one took me up on the offer.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to holler and act as if what I'm saying is just my fancy. Mm-hmm. And so now we put 800 pages and 2,000 footnotes. I have to say this. We own the conversation now.
Yes.
You have to impeach. You can't just say Dr. Wesley bugging. Dr. Wesley don't know what he's talking about. Got 800 pages and 2,000 footnotes demonstrating I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So if I am wrong, and shoot, I could be. You gotta show it. You gotta impeach the documentation that has been brought to bear on the subject. You impeach the documentation, then I will concede your point. What you can't do anymore, not post this. You can't just dismiss.
Of course.
What I'm saying. You have to impeach what I'm saying. You have to disprove it now by impeaching the sources.
Okay.
But sister, do you have any questions? You have any questions, sister? I'm going to give them. I want to make sure you get your questions in, my sister. Go ahead.
That's a lot of pages. Why did you make the book like why didn't you make it like in different parts? Like, I'm curious.
That's a very good question, and I had no intention. No, that's a very good question, and I struggled with it for a second because I never set out to write an 800-page book. The thought is obscene. The words are obscene to my ears, just like yours.
Right.
But it's like a woman who gives birth to a big, huge baby. You're like, yo, where this come from? I did not know it was going to be 800. I would have never sat down to write an 800-page book, especially this was 2019, especially in 2019. Everybody said, ain't nobody going to read a 800-page book. People read iPads now, equal. And people love me.
Yeah.
Said, even economically, you should break that up.
Right.
And I considered it, but then I said, hell no.
Okay.
For very definite reason. I am totally anti all of these trends that dominate especially the intellectual landscape. I want it never to be said on whoever does my eulogy. A lot takes me from this earth. I hope it can never be said that Brother Dr. Wesley was progressive. By any of society standards. I don't want none of the progressions of society do I co-sign. So when people say, make it quick, the young people have a very short attention span. Okay, well, y'all talk to them. Elijah Muhammad tells me to think 5 times
before you
it's going to take a few minutes to get my thought out. All 5 rotations. So I'm not going to cater to those who require the microwave education. I'm not the one for you. And the trend in then quick, the trend away from books. See, that's the problem. The intellectual landscape is dominated by knowledge that isn't source derived.
That's right.
They make stuff up and get it from YouTube, and they don't vet where that YouTube person got it from. I assume that this conversation will be on YouTube. So yeah, you may hear something from Wesley Muhammad on YouTube, but you know what? You can source what you heard me say on YouTube. But nobody, the trend is anti-source, it's anti-book, it's quick. This book, Sister Empress Aisha, is a protest to that. I am literally protesting with these 800 pages.
Yes.
2,000 footnotes. I'm protesting all of the intellectual trends that dominate the landscape today. And you know, when I debut the book, every time it's available, it sells out quickly.
Yeah.
So it's a lie that Black people purchase will be intimidated by this book. But this book, even though it was never my design to write an 800-page book, I didn't know what the pages were until after it was format. But this book is my protest to all the microwave intellectualizing, all the cheap. What's the word I'm looking for? All of the shortcut taking, all of the shortcut scholarship that dominates the airwaves, it dominates especially the Black intellectual landscape. This is my protest to it.
Right.
You don't have patience to acquire knowledge. Brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad is absolutely not the one you want to avail yourself to. Don't avail yourself to any of my videos. Don't avail yourself to any of my reading, because I don't produce leisure reading.
That's right. I mean, he's very meticulous about what he does. I believe you.
And the details and truth resides in nuance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Details that make the difference in most polarized arguments. Is this or is that? Reflect that folks didn't study deep enough, because the nuance indicates that there's shades of gray that this black-white discussion doesn't suggest.
Right. Now, people that want his book, please go to the website on there, www.drwesley.online. Go to that website and go get it. You could also email him if you might want to set up a consultation. I don't know if he does consultations and all that, but if you want to email him, he's a minister. He's a student minister. So more than likely he does consultation for whether it's couples or historical consultations, whatever.
Wow.
I guess not.
My brain.
That's Nori. That's Brother Nori.
Yes. I would married couples, I would direct you to. I stay in my lane. I love blessed me with a beautiful family, and I'm not a master of all trades.
Exactly. Right.
Brother Student Minister Nuri Muhammad.
Yeah, Brother Student.
I absolutely will refer you couples to.
Yes.
My dear brother for relationship.
Yes, he's good.
Guidance and expertise. That's just not.
I got him coming up. I got him coming up soon. We talking about it. Oh, well, if you want his books, family, go to that website, email him, not for relationship, but for and somebody asked a question in the chat. Are you accepting any questions? I know you love the questions, brother. That's one thing I know about you. Somebody just asked a question in the chat. What happens to males who let's say males and female who smokes marijuana in the late ages of 60 to 65 years? The same effect or not?
Well, because, testosterone, all males suffer a natural diminishing of testosterone with age. So by 60 to 65, the levels of testosterone have already plummeted. So in terms of the dropping of testosterone, certainly if you just started around that time, there's not going to be much of an effect there in terms of the testosterone. Now, the problem with weaponized marijuana goes beyond the diminishing of testosterone. The smoke produced by that combusted plant matter. The smoke has carcinogens in it, cancer causes in it. And one of the reasons male breasts develop is because that smoke has estrogen in it. And because breasts are estrogen driven or derived. And so when a male develops breasts, it's because of an excess of estrogen. And so the estrogen doesn't come from the THC. The estrogen comes from the smoke produced when you light up. And then there's the other toxins that's in the smoke. So this weaponized weed, it feminizes men and masculinizes women, but it does more than that. This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad forbids us from smoking anything. Not just a blunt.
That's right.
But a cigarette.
That's right.
Because physiologically, I'm going to close on this point. The reason Muslims, we don't advocate cremation is because this human body, this black body, is the signature miracle of the first God. The creators, his greatest display of power and wisdom was in the formation of this human anatomy. It took him 6 trillion years to self-evolve this human form. He had no blueprint. And so after 6 trillion years, when he succeeded through trial and error, he emerged with this phenomenal organic machine. And it really is phenomenal. And then he created in the earth everything needed to maintain this phenomenal organic machine. The creation of this human form is his signature work. And so the righteous bury their dead. Cremation began in Europe. They would burn their bodies. We don't burn our body. Now, what does that have to do with whether 60 or 65-year-olds should smoke weed?
Go ahead, brother.
It's a method to my madness. That's why you got
to go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Nuance. The connection is this. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, don't smoke anything, he gives us a very strict guide on how to eat to live, meaning what to put into this organic machine and what not to put into this organic machine. It's for the purpose of preserving this miracle. There it is, how to eat to live. It's for the purpose of preserving at optimal levels this divine organic machine. This is why the black man is God, all God talk. That is divorced from the human body, ain't talking about God. Can I say that again?
Say it again, brother. So the person,
all God talk. I don't care what you call your religion. All God talk that isn't centered or epicentered around the human body, you're not talking about God, because God's greatest manifestation is through his signature act of creation, which is the human body. You can't understand God without understanding the human body. So true religion is very zealous about how the human treats the human body. If you eat pork, you don't know God.
Mm.
If you smoke, if I smoke this weaponized weed, I don't know God. If I eat all of the stuff that destroys the anatomy, and I'm an advocate of the eating or the intake, then I don't know God.
Mm. 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 Wow, brother.
Because God can't be separated from
Right.
this human body, and God's greatest manifestation is through the optimal operation of this human body.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Dr. Wesley Muhammad in the flipping building, family. Y'all just don't understand what we got here. This brother is battle tested. The new book, well, one of the newest books, because he has multiple books. If you go on his website right there, Dr. Wesley online. Of course, this is the one we was talking about, the plot, of course. Make sure you get this book. And this book that I have here, brother, this one is called Understanding the Assault on the Black Man and Black Manhood and Black Masculinity. Very good book, my brother. I got two of them and gave one to my sons and stuff. And I understand, brother, that a lot of the attack is going on to reduce manhood in the community, especially for the last 21 years or so. Would you say that's when it started, or what would you say it's further? It started a little longer than that?
Well, actually, by God's grace, we can pinpoint, we documented the beginning and the trajectory of the scientific assault on Black masculinity in particular. The Nixon administration is the initiator of the scientific assault on Black masculinity, and it's because of the uprisings in the inner city that is a real signature of the 60s. You know, PBS and mainstream media has the signature of the 60s, the turn the other cheek, nonviolent civil rights movement. And that is great. But in the decade of the 60s, between 63 and 72 in particular, there was 1,000 riots, 1,000 turn-ups in the city. Black men in particular, our main inclination wasn't to get in picket lines or marches and accept physical abuse for a higher cause. That happened, and we respect those who suffered. But be clear, most Black men who stood up in the decade of the 60s stood up in insurrection style in cities all across the country, 1,000 insurrections. And the straw that broke the camel's back was Detroit, 1967.
Wow.
When the scientists studied the phenomenon, government scientists, they wanted to know what's at the root of these Black men. And they were wilding out like this. They came to two conclusions that are phenomenally important. Government paid scientists reached two conclusions for the ultimate cause of the riots. While real data suggested it was socio-economic conditions that stimulated Black men and women, but largely young Black men, stimulated them to rise up in their cities. But the government put out a different narrative. The narrative the government put out was that the reason Black men were violently reacting in inner cities across America was because they suffered a particular mental illness. A mental illness that produced a syndrome that they called Black masculine hostility.
Crazy.
Black masculine hostility.
Crazy.
This is critically important because Black masculinity is not just criminalized. Black masculinity is now officially pathologized. It's an illness.
Yes.
These young Black men are being violent in these cities because they suffer a mental illness. They traced it to a part of the brain called the amygdala. Black men suffered a mental illness that produced a Black masculine hostility. So if Black masculinity is the medical problem, the medical fix is neutralizing Black masculinity and replacing it with Black male femininity. It was the Nixon administration that began that chemical assault, governmental chemical assault on Black America. The Nixon administration employed methadone, a synthetic heroin substance that is worse than heroin.
That's crazy.
They set up free clinics in the hood doling out methadone because methadone was a great feminizer of men. This is how the pot plot initially originated, because as Colonel James Ketchum, who was head of the U.S. Army Chemical Corps, the project to study cannabis, his words were, quote, we weren't studying cannabis to heal people. We were studying cannabis to control people. So the weaponization of marijuana began during this period. Methadone and weaponized weed. So we had the introduction of, and here in Chicago, they first dropped at the Democratic Convention, 68. They first dropped it on the white hippies when they gathered here in Chicago. They dropped this weaponized cannabis or marijuana product that had this excessive THC in it. The Army did. And it knocked them white hippies out. They falling out all over the place. And they learned that was their first field test of the weaponized weed. But then from the Nixon administration, crack cocaine. We document in here the origin of crack cocaine. Ronald Siegel out of University of California, Los Angeles. Crack cocaine grew out of this project of the chemical neutering of Black men. Now, from the Nixon administration and then with Bush, the Bush administration decided on Depo-Provera. Now, sisters know Depo-Provera
Right.
as a female contraceptive.
Right. Yes.
When I say sisters, I'm being specific. Black women.
Yes.
Because white women don't mess with Depo-Provera. Depo-Provera was always concentrated on black and brown women in America, girls in America, and African women and Indian women of color around the world for very definite reason. Depo-Provera, the chemical agent of Depo-Provera, is a gender neuterer in the lab. It causes gender inversion. And because it reduces testosterone in men, but it increases it in women, and in particular, a pregnant woman or a breastfeeding woman who's put on birth control, Depo-Provera, which they advocate. They give pregnant women the Depo shot because the active ingredient of Depo-Provera, it crosses the placenta and it gender inverts the fetus. So an XY fetus, physiologically or genetic, chromosomally, male XY will come out or can come out with a female physiology, and vice versa. An XX fetus, chromosomally female, can come out with a masculinized and elongated clitoris looking like a penis, a masculinized physiology. This is what Depo-Provera does. So when Israel, the state of Israel, was forcefully and secretly injecting the African Ethiopians who were brought to Israel, forcefully and secretly injecting them with Depo-Provera, two consequences. One, the African Israeli population plummeted by 50%. And also, from the ashes sprung an African Israeli transgender and homosexual population that did not exist in Africa, but they are the generation following the generation of mothers who were forcefully and secretly injected. Now, the reason I say all of that is because the Bush 1 administration, in 1992, in his violence initiative program, determined that Depo-Provera will be the drug to, get the words, biomedically control the inner city. The violence initiative of George Bush 1, which set aside $200 million governmental dollars for the project. The aim was biomedical control of the inner city. And the drug selected, we're going to talk about what that selection looks, how it plays out. The drug selected for the purposes of biomedical control of the inner city was Depo-Provera. So what does that look like? It looks like this. I remember when I went to Baltimore, Maryland, to speak, and a nurse who worked at, a sister who worked as a nurse at one of the local juvenile schools controlled by the state, she said, yes, Black male students put up in class, they're sent to me, and I give them a Depo shot.
Wow. Wow.
This happens in schools across America.
Wow.
Black male students are given a Depo shot when they're rowdy, if they're considered behavioral as a behavioral problem. The solution to the behavioral problem of Black male students in America's public schools across this country, the solution was biomedical, and the chemical was Depo-Provera.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, and are they doing this unknowingly to while the parents are not there monitoring this? So the parents don't know?
Oh, well, a couple of things. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
But in those communities where some measure of parental consent is required, the average parent doesn't know. Doesn't know what they don't, and they won't say it's Depo-Provera, they say it's medroxyprogesterone acetate. That's a technical name of the chemical that we know as Depo-Provera. So the nurse won't say, I gave your son a Depo-Provera shot because he was wilding out in class. If they say anything that say, we had to give your son medroxyprogesterone acetate because he has severe behavior problems in class. Mom don't know what the hell medroxyprogesterone acetate is.
Right. That's right. My goodness. People that are just tuning in, of course, we got Dr. Wesley Muhammad. My good, information upon information. He don't stop. He doesn't stop. Well taught. He's well taught. Believe that.
Praise belongs to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That is correct.
And his student, my teacher.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan.
And going down this road now, this is the more, because I have to commend after a long battle that we have been doing when I was an active member and what has been going on about Malcolm X. I want to go into Malcolm X briefly because I know you can go in. Woo! They finally there's some form of exoneration from that letter that was produced. Now people are trying to call it a false letter now. So people are saying that it's fake. What now?
Let's not say people.
Oh yes,
his daughter. It's his daughter now. The letter originate from cousin Reggie.
Okay.
And it's not just a letter, it's a book chronicling Reggie's time, instruction, and information that he got from his cousin Raymond. It is Raymond's daughter who wants us to believe. She's just saying she doesn't have. And Brother Minister Demetric Muhammad, author of this great book, which I would advise everyone.
Yes.
Did y'all kill Malcolm X?
Yes.
My brother, my colleague.
I just ordered it. Yes.
Mr. Demetric Muhammad. He had the pleasure to be on with Reggie Wood on the show with our brother, Minister Willie, shout out. And they discussed the situation with Reggie's cousin saying the letter is a fraud. And she's saying that she's not showing any proof. And he gives details clearly illustrating it's not a fraud, but she indicates, his daughter, I respect Miss Woods.
It came in the mail. It came in the mail this week.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
She has a desire, which is very understandable.
Right.
She has a desire that the country remembers her father as a hero. Because the New York City Police Department crowned him a hero when he set up the brothers in the Statue of Liberty case.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him accolades. They made him a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Woods wants her father to be remembered as a hero that those accolades suggest. But the New York City Police Department bestowed those accolades on her father after her father was an agent provocateur. He did not stop a Statue of Liberty assault. He inspired it. He was the cause of a Statue of Liberty plot. He entrapped those brothers and then called his handlers from the Bureau of Special Services in on them.
Mm-hmm.
What Raymond Wood did in the case of the Statue of Liberty incident was criminal to the Black community. And then he went on, see, his daughter misrepresented his police history. She said she wants her father's history to stop with the Statue of Liberty case, where he got his awards and was crowned as a hero. That's the last thing she wants to hear of her father. And so she said that his career stopped there. We know that's not true.
Right.
He was sent to infiltrate the Black Panther Party. In a Black Panther 21, he testified against the Black Panther Party after the murder of Malcolm X. So she, I don't know if she doesn't know, she clearly did not correctly represent her father's history, but she wants to remember her father as a hero rather than as a villain who was instrumental in the murder of Malcolm X.
So to her case, I mean, a daughter would try that,
which is why I don't disrespect her. I understand that she's wrong.
Yeah.
No, you can't hold her up as reason to dismiss the confession that her father gave to Reggie Wood, because the daughter says, my dad is not a villain, my dad is a hero. You know, I will never have any ill words to say of our sister. I understand. Right. But she's wrong in terms of her assessment of her father. Right. Factually wrong.
Okay. But you know, those that are just tuning in, our brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad, this is part of the more now. We've been talking about the pop plot. We jumped from debates. We did all kinds of stuff. This is my brother. I don't want to keep him too long, but Empress Aisha, do you have another question before I go into my next question, please?
I do. I definitely have another question. It's so much. It's so broad. It's like it's hard to. But I do want to get back to the marijuana topic, and I wanted to understand, like, how are women, like you explain how the men physique is changing, but how are the women changing? You know, from this masculine uprising.
Very, very important. So, one, the problem with female consumption of this weaponized weed is twofold. It's the female and it's the fetus. The excess THC, the triggers in the female, the overproduction of testosterone in the adrenal gland. And so, of course, testosterone is a masculinizing hormone. Estrogen is the feminizing hormone. While all men have our ratio of estrogen, but higher ratio of testosterone to estrogen, women have a much higher ratio of estrogen, but women have natural testosterone also. But God's divine creation keeps the balance. Masculinity, true masculinity is the right balance, the right ratio, testosterone to estrogen. True femininity is the right ratio, estrogen to testosterone. When you disrupt the ratios, that's how you start creating all of this stuff. You start gender neutering by disrupting the ratios. The THC disrupts in a female, disrupts the ratio by stimulating excessive testosterone. And so you get this masculinization process. It puts on weight. There's a ratio between high levels of testosterone, female testosterone, and obesity, just as there's a link between high levels of male estrogen and obesity. The hardening of the voice, the development of excessive hair. These are some of the development of secondary sexual characteristics. In the case of a female, masculinizing secondary characteristics in a woman, caused by the excessive testosterone stimulated by that synthetic THC. Now, the other thing, it is horrible. It is so criminal. It is so diabolic, in fact, that the government and the health institutes are now green lighting pregnant women to medicate their morning sickness with marijuana. Whereas before, if a pregnant woman and when a pregnant woman came to the doctor, if the doctor found out she was smoking marijuana while pregnant, if it's a black pregnant woman or girl, they will call the police on her. Now, they are advocating pregnant women, but it's largely being done by young black women to smoke marijuana to medicate some of the painful properties of pregnancy. Now, why is that so dastardly and diabolical? Sister Emperor Aisha, people got mad at me. They said, Dr. Wesley said weed makes you gay. Now, let me state for the record, I never said that. I never said that. However, in the book, I do have a chapter on how weed makes you gay. Now, let me clarify. No grown man who's already developed isn't going to smoke a joint and have homosexual desires.
Okay,
a grown man's biochemistry is developed. It can be manipulated, and the signature feminization, this is what I said. The signature feminization of a male, a grown man, who's a victim of weaponized weed, the signature illustration is not homosexualization, it's hyper-emotionalism. The hyper-emotionality. Male hyper-emotionality is a signature trait of the feminization caused by weed. We can get into what it does to the brain and cerebral fluid. There's a reason. But weed can feminize physically and homosexualize a fetus. because that THC can cross the center. And this is what happens. We got to understand embryology.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Take an XY fetus.
Mm-hmm.
As a beautiful black sister,
Mm-hmm.
pregnant. We know her fetus is an XY fetus. If everything goes right, she's going to give birth to a healthy baby boy.
Yes.
Mentally and physiologically, because the male brain and the female brain are wired differently. The brains are different. The difference between the male brain and the female brain occurs by the same process that the physiological difference between a female body and a male body. That XY fetus in the womb experiences 2 bursts of testosterone. And both bursts of testosterone are necessary to masculinize that XY fetus. The first burst of testosterone, that testosterone acts like a chemical scalpel. It scalps the physical anatomy of the male body. The second burst, weeks later, scalps the neurology, the masculine neurology of the fetus. This is how a male baby comes to birth. Both bursts of testosterone are necessary to sculpt the male physiology and sculpt the male neurology. Scientists have perfected how to target both or either or of those bursts of testosterone and reverse the effects. So if they interfere with the burst of testosterone that is supposed to sculpt the physical body, then a child will be born with a male neurology, thinks like a male, but his body will look like a female. It's called pseudo-hermaphrodite, a pseudo-hermaphrodite. His body is feminized. He has a pseudo-vagina because the testosterone necessary to sculpt the male anatomy wasn't there to do its job. So it defaults to a female physiology. Now, say they reversed it. Instead of disrupting the testosterone burst that will sculpt the physical body, they let that run its course, but they target the burst that sculpts the masculine neurology. And if the testosterone is not available to masculinize the neurology of that fetus, it will default into a female neurological phenotype. So that baby will be born with a male anatomy, but a feminized neurology, which includes sexual attraction.
Right.
Sexual attraction is encoded in the neurology. And if you mess with the architecture of the neurology, then you can flip sexual attraction. So that sister who's pregnant, she hears on the TV now, you know what? Are you tired of the pains of that pregnancy? Marijuana is legal in your state. Go to your nearest dispensary, get a preparation, and smoke it or eat it, drink it, but consume the synthetic THC, it will cross her placenta and then cause all kind of biochemical hazards or carnage. So it will diminish, it will fight the testosterone burst, and depending on how much she intakes for how long, it will produce a whole spectrum of results in that fetus. But that is how weed can make, while weed won't make a grown man gay necessarily, we absolutely can homosexualize a fetus if exposed to that weaponized THC.
Man, bro, I mean, this brother here, brother, and then you got footnotes at that inside your book for all of this, and we're not gonna keep them too long. I just want to make sure that the audience, I did see everybody saying thank you very much, King Simon. I've been following you for many years. I really see you expanding so much. As Ashe to the ascension. Everybody's loving what's happening here. Of course, any trolls that come in, I always get rid of the trolls. You know me. I ain't got no time for trolls, but I want to give you a well-deserved round of applause, brother Wesley. I mean, and I'm honored.
I love my paid for supporters. I love them. Well, I saw a comment. I think a sister said, "No, this explains not just gay tendencies, but transgenderism." That is absolutely correct. It's very important.
Yes.
So the transgender phenomenon.
Yes.
The last report I saw from the Williams Institute said that there was 200,000 Black transgenders. And I'd say this, see, the struggle of the transgender is real. That's why we in the Nation of Islam see some of these woke folks, their anti-homosexuality platform is an anti-homosexual platform, right? They hate the Black homosexual. They even advocate violence against a Black homosexual. That is not the Nation of Islam. Right. We have tremendous sympathy for the Black homosexual and transgender because we understand the scientific context. We love all of our people. And so the transgender who struggles with feeling that they are a man trapped in a woman's body or a woman trapped in a man's body, that is real. I just explained the scientific root of that phenomenon, and it's torturous for them. So we in the Nation of Islam have tremendous sympathy, understanding, and love for our people.
That's right.
Straight, gay, transgender, all of us in our own way have been born in the sins of American white supremacy and shaped by the scientific wickedness of American white supremacy. My victimization might not manifest like that, but my victimization and your victimization is no less real.
Yes, and I know a lot of people are saying, you know, they're trying to infiltrate the schools with a lot of these agendas. You know,
that's right. The gay agenda is real,
and the agenda is real. The agenda is real,
and we push back. What we are doing is, don't say like some of the woke Negroes. We're not making excuses. The Nation of Islam has never changed its position.
That's right.
We are neither a gay community nor a monk community. We ain't Roman Catholics. The Black family, man, woman, and child, is the fullest manifestation of Allah.
Yes.
That's God. So that's why I reject Black Lives Matter, the organization and their agenda.
Right.
Who envisions, of course, it's queer-led, queer-originated, and queer-led. And their agenda is to institute the Black village that has no place for the Black father. There is no authentic Black family. Hear me? Because the authentic Black family is the greatest manifestation of Allah. Allah is manifested in the Black man. But the greatest and fullest manifestation of Allah is in a Black man, Black woman, and Black child.
Yes.
So everything that fights against that so-called nuclear family.
Yes, sir.
Everything that fights to disrupt it is an enemy of God. So homosexuality, we will never be advocates of it. We reject it, but we don't reject our people.
The people
who are victimized by the homosexual.
Yes.
The homosexual is Satan himself.
That's right.
He is. He got it naturally. We have to be scientifically induced or socially programmed. And that is the agenda, to homosexualize the Black community. And so the demonization of Black malehood and the valorization of Black homosexuality, they are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, that brother, that's power. Please make sure you get his book. There's two things I want to show you, Wesley, before you leave. And I just want you to give brief commentary about these two pictures and how did you feel at these moments here. First one is this one. What's your feeling?
I can't even describe. You know, I'm not known as a smiler.
Yeah, I know. I had to throw that picture in there.
That lets you know.
I was watching this.
That lets you know the greatest moment.
Right.
My sojourn in Islam.
Yes, sir.
It was at that moment in the prior one when he brought me out in Detroit. That was Noor.
Yes.
That was the height of my journey.
Yes.
In Islam so far. I will never live that and those two moments down. I pray that I will not disappoint my teacher, the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, my spiritual father.
I was
a bitter atheist who cursed
That's
God.
Right. That's right.
That's man. And in cursing God, I curse self.
That's right.
It's that man.
That's right.
Who brought me back to self.
Right. And this picture here, while you're holding up something in this book right here, brother.
That is.
Yes, sir.
So, great picture. So.
Yes, sir.
This is the difference there, Fanny. My Afrocentric scholars. And I like to consider myself
an Afrocentric scholar.
Because you read Black Arabia and the African origin of Islam, I produce scholarship and the truth of God.
Truth of God. Yes, sir.
When we as scholars do all of this reading, confronted with all of these books, all this data, and we try to put pieces together, the difference between a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and other scholars, the difference is in that book that I'm holding up. If you would show that picture again.
I will put it up again, of course, 'cause I love this picture, my brother. Go ahead.
The book, the difference is in that book, by which I mean what? A scholar is confronted with all of these puzzle pieces and have to make guesses on how to put the pieces together because he does not have the picture box. It's like you're given a plastic bag full of puzzle pieces and asked to put them together with no guide because there's no picture box. That book, Message to the Black Man, the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is the picture box with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in our head. That is how we can correctly put the factual pieces together to make a coherent picture. Without the picture box, we do the best we can. I have to say this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People got mad at me because I challenged the conclusions of the great Dr. Yosef Ben Yakin. And I love Dr. Ben. I'm a student of Dr. Ben. I challenged some of the conclusions of the late Dr. John Henry Clark. I love Dr. John Henry Clark. I challenged the conclusions of Dr. Chancellor Williams in the destruction of Black civilization. And they said, who are you to challenge the masters? Well, in scholarship, that's how scholarship is done. I'm saying in religion, right? You may not, but I'm not just a minister, I'm a scholar. Yes, sir. I got my credentials.
You got your credentials.
My CV. Now, not just the degree, but the scholarship. Right? I'm bona fide. I said I'm bona fide, so on that strength.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm qualified to challenge the conclusions of other scholars, even if you or I have an emotional attachment to them. But the main point I want to make, the difference, for example, between myself and Dr. Ben, who wrote The African Origin of the Major Western Religions, right?
Right. And he left his books to the Nation of Islam.
Yes, he did.
Let's not forget. That's right.
We read Dr. Ben and a Dr. Wesley may read the same books. We may have the same library filled with some of the same stuff. And we can come up with different conclusions. So he and I differ. Myself and Dr. Chancellor Williams differ radically in terms of the history of Islam.
Okay.
As it relates to Black people. And I challenged them not religiously or dogmatically. I produced scholarship and said, well, they're wrong on these points, and here's why. I didn't bring religious pontification to the conversation. I brought scholarship because that's what scholars do. They're a scholar, I'm a scholar. That's what scholars do.
Peer review. Right.
I would say that even when we read the same book, God is in the details. Truth resides in nuance, because I had the picture box. I came to these sources with the picture box in my head. I know what the picture looks like. So I'm able to put the pieces together a little more coherently. So when Dr. Ben quoted Godfrey Hagins, Anacalypsis, which he is right to do, and when Dr. Ben encountered in Godfrey Hagins the 6,000-year-old Baytullah, house of Allah,
Baytullah.
There should have never been the error made that Muhammad took the female goddess Alat and transformed her into the male god Allah, suggesting that Allah has its origin 1400 years ago. But we know, and he knew from Anacalypsis that long prior to Prophet Muhammad's birth, there were institutions, not just that institution now known as the Kaaba, but other institutions in Arabia that were called Baytullah, house of, not Allah, house of Allah. So you have data that you can't fit into your paradigm because it doesn't fit your paradigm because you don't have the right paradigm, because you don't have the picture box. But if you had the picture box, you would know all of it fits, and you would know how it all fits. So I will close on this point. Okay. I never forget this. When I was at college, a freshman in college, a brother who, we had this tape of John Henry Clark. He knew I was a Muslim. John Henry Clark's tape, The Rise of Islam in Africa, right? Very famous lecture. And I asked the brother, no, can I listen to your tape? The John Henry Clark tape, can you loan that to me? And he was shook. He like, aren't you a Muslim? Yes, sir. Why do you want to listen to this tape by John Henry Clark? You know, he's real critical of Islam. I said, so what? If it's facts, then it is perfectly consistent with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When you have the picture box, you don't have to run and be super selective about what facts you permit into your narrative. Because the right picture box frames all of the data and makes the data make sense. So you don't have to force pieces where they don't belong and leave pictures out because you have a false image. So when I see that picture of me holding up Message to the Black Man, all of that is what comes to my mind. That book, meaning the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, are the picture box that helps put all the factual pieces together. And those who approach scholarship, those who approach data with the picture box in mind, that's why we're undefeated.
Without a on that note, beloved, I want to thank you, man. We would like to thank you for being a part. That's why I tell people I will never disrespect the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he saved my life.
And I appreciate you for that. He saved mine as well.
Yeah, through the 5%. Of course, you was true Islam back in your day, you know, and real true Islam. Matter of fact, this book got that name, True Islam. So,
still 5%.
Still,
it's either that or it's 85% or 10%.
10%. That's right.
Neither one of them.
So I'm honored. Thank you very much again, beloved, and for coming out. People, go to his websites, go get the books. People are asking about that shirt you got on, brother. People are looking for the shirt.
Yeah, stay tuned. It's Black Eye Protocol, the new edition, and we're gonna drop the line in the next couple of weeks, inshallah.
Okay, so stay tuned on his YouTube.
It'll be on drwesley.online.
That's right. And how about the YouTube? The YouTube channel is Wesley Muhammad, right? Dr. Wesley Muhammad.
That's right.
That's right. And of course, his email, he's on IG, he's on Facebook, and he does communicate on IG. He communicated through me with the IG.
I'm sorry. Ooh, don't tell the people that. Because I actually do not. I communicate with you because I know you my man.
Yeah.
Don't tell the people that because I am horrible.
Yes, sir.
Social media outreach. I don't do that.
Okay.
So they gonna hit me up and I'm not response. So then they gonna go online.
Yeah. Okay, don't hit them up.
DM makes y'all feel way entitled.
Right. Yeah.
The people think that because you can hit me in my inbox, that I'm obligated to respond to you. God forbid I don't because I can't. You're so insulted and offended. Who this nigga think he is? I don't. I'm horrible. The worst way to contact me is through social media, but King Simon, you my man. So
yeah, I got your number. You always answer my phone. So you always answer my phone.
That's King Simon when I get let me see what my brother's talking about.
and you always answer my phone. You never not, and you always peace, God. And that's how you say it, brother.
Family is family, but family is earned.
It's exactly.
People think because they got access to your DM that that ain't earned.
That's true.
I don't make you spam because you got access to my DM.
Yes, sir. And one more thing, how's the beloved minister? I haven't seen him in so long. How is he doing, brother?
I was blessed, myself and his executive council.
Yes, sir.
Blessed to spend the day with him yesterday.
Good.
And he's glowing and he's beautiful.
Yes.
Praise the Lord. That man.
Yeah. Right. There it is.
May Allah continue to bless him and may Allah continue to bless us.
Yes, sir.
Through him.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And please send the greetings to my GM assistant, Captain Aziz. Just tell him King Simon. He'll say, oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. I certainly will.
And Mustafa, the Supreme Captain, assistant. That's they used to manage me. And Mustafa Farrakhan used to manage me, him and Abdul Sharif, the old former minister, Supreme Captain at that time. But they used to manage me when I was a reggae artist. I performed before the minister years ago.
King Simon, tell them people to stop tripping. Y'all know the Nation of Islam is fly.
Yeah.
Y'all know. Our Supreme Captain, our Assistant Supreme Captain, the Nation of Islam. This that flat-ish. I'm sorry. This that fly. This the flyness.
Yeah.
Y'all know it. Stop hating. Y'all know Islam.
Is in the Nation of Islam. Is in the Nation of Islam. I learned to really dress, man, because they really polish us up.
Our structure is hard. It weaves out, but Islam is fly.
It's fly. It's fly. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Alaikum salam.
Take care. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you.
All right. That's our beloved Wesley Muhammad, man. Oh, man. Lioness Crown. I see Lioness Crown in the building. What's up, Lioness Crown? Make sure you hit up my beautiful Aries sister, man, on Fly Nubian Queen. Big up to Lioness Crown all the time. Peace, sister. And, of course, Denise and everybody that's on there, everybody that came through. Thank you very much. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, Sister Empress Aisha Amor. How you enjoyed it? Did you enjoy that?
Yes, and I learned a whole lot.
Yo, these books, man. Woof. That's why you gotta write. You gotta tell your stories. You gotta solidify your place in history. Those that feel they need to write, let it out, family. Because this brother dissertation. I think I have one of his books, which was a dissertation. But I know I collect so much stuff, and I'm reading. But I'm glad. Remember, go to his website, hit him up, follow him on FB. Yeah, follow him on FB, Facebook, follow him on IG. Do not try to DM him, as you see. He's terrible with social media. Don't worry about it. He's very busy. Remember, he's a research master and he's a lecturer, so he's all over the world doing his thing and helping. And I'm glad the minister is doing well. I'm glad the whole family is doing well. His family is doing well. And, I'm proud of what he's been doing and how he's been doing. What she says, I'm hearing we'll be in the buck breaking. Yes, Dr. Wesley will be in the buck break. I should have asked him about that, but we never went down that. We stayed on the pot plot. We stayed on Malcolm a little, and we stayed on this book too, Understanding the Assault on Black Men, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity, which is about buck breaking. So yeah, the buck breaking is going to be, that before, that is very interesting. So yeah, he will be on the buck breaking Hidden Colors deep presentation by my brother Tariq Nasheed. I'm gonna see if I can get him on too, Tariq Nasheed. And that's what I'm gonna talk to a few people that can get me that connection, because Dr. Africa was one of those people that got me that connection. But he transitioned, so I'm going to talk to Phil and a few other people. I would love to interview him about that. We can get him on that. That would be beautiful on the new documentary coming up. So, man, that was fire. We had a good time, had a good time. There's so much we could have.
It was a definite honor. It was a true honor.
We could have explored a lot more, but because he has a plethora of information, continual information of course he's part of the research team of the nation. If you know anything about the secret relationships of Blacks and Jews, he's part of that team, and it's a whole research team. They ain't playing with us. They ain't playing with people. They ain't playing with these Europeans either. We got to be on our P's and Q's when it comes to dealing with scholarship in the nation, and any other scholar that really does their cross references and do their study. It's all about doing that study and cross references and see where we can make that connection. And one thing about one of our greats who transitioned, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, he knew how to make that connection, who was in the Nation of Islam, who did the work. I wanted to ask him about the connection between Khalid and Muhammad, but I didn't. I said, you know what, let me put that off. Since I'm going to have we're going to have Dr. Farah Gray here next week. We'll touch on Dr. Khalid, but we're focusing on the entrepreneurship of Black excellence for us as original people to always become entrepreneur, writing investments and all that kind of stuff. So he's been investing and doing things since he was 14. And Dr. Khalid was very supportive of Dr. Farah Gray. And now Dr. Farah Gray is writing his own books. I better find his book because I got all his books and one of them was stolen. So it is what it is, but yeah, let's get through these commercials and let's get through these prayers and let me get on out of here. I got a conference call I got to deal with after this, but please support King Simon Present via Cash App, $ King Simon, 3158 PayPal / King Simon. Patreon, I do have a Patreon page at King Simon Productions. You can follow me on IG, FB, and at King Simon Production and at King Simon, and I do answer my messages. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but it is what it is. You can hit me up on my website. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Don't forget our dear sister Empress Aisha Amor. This is her email at Empress Aisha Amor at Gmail. Spread love by her Cash App. Show us some love at Empress Amor. And of course, this is her productivity. This is her productivity. Make sure you hit her up. Tell them about this product, these beautiful earrings you got, this handmade stuff. Tell them, sister. Go ahead.
My dear sisters and our brothers, you want to get something for your beautiful goddesses? Hit me up on sorry about this. I got something going on the side of me. But hit me up on Instagram. You can also email me. But I'm really, really better with Instagram. But I'm telling you, sisters, you will love them. It's springtime. Mother's Day is coming up soon. So if you want something for their summer, something to go on vacation with, just let me know. I got you.
There it is. And for Mother's Day coming up, that's right. All that, or just because you love your sister.
Just
because. Also, let me big up this Sunday show. We have the astrologist himself, who invented his own system, cosmophysics, the legend. You got to come with the questions for this guy because he going to go in. Ra-Aku will be in the building. Woo! So if you're into astrology or you want to know the aspect, this man can, if you can tell him the first pain that you had in your life, he can break down your whole chart without not even knowing the time of birth. That's how deep he can get into this thing. So
amazing.
We're going to get in. And once again, make sure you get Wesley Muhammad's book, The Pot Plot. Please get that book, Marijuana, Hip Hop, and the Scientific Assault on Black America. Get that book. And don't forget my 4 books, of course, and more are coming. But get this on through Linktree. You can go through Linktree. Here's the Linktree link so you can find my books. That is a Linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator on Linktree. And if you want Dr. Africa shirts, I had this on the other day with Adara. When we had Adara on, oops, that's not it. That's not it either. Here it is. Boom, there it is. The Dr. Africa t-shirts are on sale right now. Not through his website, through the Teespring website on the bottom. But if you want to buy his products, go to his website. Go to his charleschild Cash App if you want to donate to them and show them some love. His wife is handling all of that. And of course, let me see here. April, the month of April, family. Woo, we ain't finished yet. We got so much more. We got, of course, like I said, Raku. Of course, we got Cheryl St. Cloud coming up. St. Cloud coming up on the 14th. Dr. Farrah Gray on the 15th. Erica Davey on the 18th. Jackie Levine on the 25th. And Soul Flow Doula on the 28th. Coming up right here on King Simon Presents. So don't you go away. Don't you move a muscle. Here's my son's stuff. This is my son. Make sure you hit him up on all platforms and go onto that link. Go hit up that link. Leave it right there. You can go to that link. That link is a beautiful link. Got some great music, some great love making music too. So if you're into making love or falling in love and you want to do some loving things, this is some good music my son got for you. So also Lloyd Strayhorn, he'll be on soon. Matter of fact, he'll be on with Jackie Levine because Jackie Levine is his student. She's an astronumerologist, but this is the master astronumerologist. And you can actually go to his website and go to lloyd-strayhorn.com and get his classes. Do his classes. His classes give you the beginners and the intermediate. Make sure you support Lloyd Strayhorn. Here's Janelle Lewis. If you want that consultant or you want to find out about buying real estate, she can help you. 347-866-1153. 347-866-1153. Here is the Numerovation, Holistic Numerovation course. Yes, I am taping starting, believe next week, because I'm going to be going on a whole healing break next week, but I'm going to be teaching. So I got to do these classes, pre-tape the 9 classes that I need to teach. Then we'll do a live 10th class for those that purchase all 9 of the programs that I offer. Okay. And they'll probably be like 45 minutes each. So look out for that. If you want to be a part of that class, email me at thenumerovator@gmail.com. That's thenumerovator@gmail.com. And also, this is my sister. This is my family in Florida. They have great products. If you want some great products from them, go to pedalwise.com. And they offer a 10% discount. The 10% discount code is King2021. That's 10% discount code. Make sure you hit them up. All ladies products, good for your fibroids, tumors, all different types of stuff. And if you're in Florida, make sure you go and get some acupuncture by her. She's good at all of that. And we had her on earlier, sometimes last month for Women's History Month. And let's see here what else we got to promote. Of course, here it is. Numerovation consultation. Please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And if you live outside of the United States of America, please do me a favor and text me via WhatsApp. Please text 347-496-1022 via WhatsApp if you live outside of the United States. I'm talking to you Africans out there because some of you try to call me regular phone and I can't call you back. I'm serious. So please help a brother out. I'm not playing with none of y'all. I know, crazy. One last thing, content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this broadcasters and this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Always got to cover your backside, pause, and respect yourself. You know what I'm saying? And all of that stuff. And again, want to thank, how can I forget the newest sponsor that's here, Better Health Shop. Make sure you go to their Etsy page. Their Etsy page, they got some monatomic gold. They got some, I bought some gold from them already, the monatomic gold liquid and the colloidal silver. So big up to them. This is the etsy.com/shop/better health shop. Make sure you support. They got a lot of different things. It's like a one-stop shop for health. So hit them up on Etsy. It's a Black-owned, operated company, but they serving the major community, all of the community for health and well-being. Big up to the Burns family wherever in DC. Big up to them. And now it's time to get prepared for the prayer time. And of course, if that's the case, we got to big up Dr. Delbert Blair. If you want to show him love, family. If you want to show his family love, if you want to show the people that support him, please go to Dr. Blair's website. That's www.themetacenter2, themetacenter2.com for his books, ELF protectors, and much more. And are you ready for the prayer, my beautiful sister?
I am. I am. I do want to say something, but I'm definitely ready for the prayer.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yes. What Dr. Wesley has spoken about, Muhammad, forgive me, has spoken about was very disturbing to me to a degree. Mm-hmm. It was disturbing, like, it's like, when will this whole agenda thing end for our people, towards our people? But I see that, I'm definitely face the reality that it's a never ending.
Well, just remember this, and I know Wesley probably would have said this, like we coming from the Quran, mm-hmm. Man plans and God plans, and God is the best of planners. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was not going to worry about it, not at all. But
yeah, don't make it a part of your world. Don't make it a part of your world.
I'm definitely about to just close out saying that, you know what, the solution is within all of us.
That's right. Solution is there. That's right. The poison, and there's a cure. This is just Earth. Earth is going to go through that. Earth goes through the poisons and the cures simultaneously. It always going to go through. That's why I tell people, even in my consultations, I tell people, look, there's always going to be calm and storm. Sometimes calm lasts a little bit longer. Sometimes storms last a little bit longer. But it's always going to be calm and storm in the learning center called Earth. That's why we're here. We came through our mother's womb to experience all this madness. Let's do it. Let's have fun in it. Let's enjoy it. And we live eternally in our spiritual energy. We ain't got nothing. We ain't really got ancestors. We already won. Let's be real. We already won. So whether it's just what Europeans are trying to do, because they can't go where we're going to go. They're trying to keep our attention. That's what they're trying to do with all this madness. So forget all that. Let's keep it moving. I'm loving it. You ready for the prayer?
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's do it, sister. You're welcome, sister. I'm going to help out. You know me. Stay optimistic. Let's keep it moving. Here we go. Prayer time. Prayer time. That's what we say in the mind. Prayer time. Go ahead, my sister. Let's take a deep breath.
Everyone. Let us take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And exhale as you please. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love.
Timer off.
Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Thank you very much, sister, for that prayer. We need it. Dr. Blair really lived on this. Please, Universal Creator. He really lived on this. He really helped us. And Dr. Blair actually used to have his Meta Center all around the world say it every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. So everybody can say it around the world. That's how Dr. Blair. Right now, we're the only ones that are saying it. His Meta Center saying it, but they have a strict plan where everybody that was a part of his Meta Center community said it at a particular time on a Tuesday. And that's what he used to do. So I love the brother. I'm glad he was one of the greats that did what he had to do. And I thank you very much, beloved sister, for sharing your questions that you gave to Dr. Wesley Muhammad. I can't wait to see what you got for the astrology man, because the astrology man coming in, it's going to be something else. You can ask him even You could ask him even questions dealing with religion and when certain things came into play. That's one thing. Raku is good. He can tell you Islam. He can tell you Christianity and where the stars were aligned at that point of time. Also, oh yeah, so he can get in. You know what I'm saying? And another person I'm going to bring on who's been at the major conferences for astrology and astronomy. I'm going to bring on Samuel F. Reynolds, a Muslim astrologer who is off the hook with this. When I say he's off the hook, he's off the hook. You know what I'm saying? So both of them I show enough respect to. And actually, both of them are Scorpions, which is interesting to me. Both of them are Scorpion men. So this is going to be interesting. So thank you, my sister. One love, one aim, one destiny, you say. And,
thank you.
Thank you. Get some rest and give those children a big old hug for me. All right? Yes. All right, sis. Thank you. Peace. That's our great one, Aisha Amor in the building. That's our Empress. My darn my Bluetooth just shut down, but I'm still gonna give her a round of applause. Okay, I can do it. I can do it like that until my Bluetooth comes out. The Bluetooth comes back on. You turn it back on. It's pairing. Let's get it nice and loud and direct. Where is that? Where's she at? Where's it at? There it is. There it goes. All right. Now we're giving her that round of applause. Yes, let's give her that round of applause. Give Wesley Muhammad a round of applause. Woo! That was a good show, family. All right, now. I'm getting ready to close out, family. Want to thank all of you. Get ready to close out. Thank all of you for being a part of this. This is your brother King Simon. Remember, I am the #1 Numerovator in the world. All you have to do is Google me up, the Numerovator, and my picture will pop up or my name. So it is what it is. Once again, thank Brother Wesley Muhammad for coming in. Thank, of course, my co-host, Empress Aisha Amor. And don't forget Ra'aku this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to have a good time. Have a good evening. One love, one aim, one destiny. Up, you mighty nation. You could accomplish what you will. Honor your ancestors. And like Dr. Khalid says, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one creative force within all of us. You call it God, you call him Allah, you call her this, you call her this, you call him that. Just know that there's one. All right? Take care, peace, and love.